Through these doors go the best damn kids in the world. Let's keep it that way.
Through this door go the best damn kids in the world. Let's keep it that way.
Through these doors go the best damn kids in the world. Let's keep it that way.
Through this door walk the best damn kids in the world. Let's keep it that way.
Through this door go the best damn kids in the world. Keep it that way.
Through this door go the best damn kids in the world. Let's keep it that way.
One heartbeat.
Win, fight, win.
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 Lehighton Lincoln Mercury and by Best Supply Company. Hi everybody, Bob Capasso along with Jim Nunemaker from Stroudsburg. We have a battle that could go a long way in deciding who wins the Centennial League. And in this type of games, what to expect? The unexpected. It's tough to tell with these two teams over the first couple of weeks what in the world they're going to do.
I have no idea. There are a couple of things that have surprised me so far in this young season. First, with Stroudsburg, in 2 games, they've thrown the ball twice. Last week against Notre Dame, they didn't throw the ball at all. That is not normal for a Fred Ross coach team. He doesn't always put the ball up a lot, but he always likes to throw when you least expect it on first down, second down, to keep the defense off guard. He has not been doing that at all. Lehighton, on the other hand, has not been consistent. Last week they scored 26 points, but they were all the result of big plays. Chris Green had a career night last Friday night against Tamaqua. He caught 2 touchdown passes, one at the end of the first half, one at the end of the ball game, ran 66-yard touchdown run early in the ball game, intercepted a pass to set up the 4th Lehighton score. But in between, Lehighton didn't do much. I think they punted 7 times in that ball game, and I'm sure no one can remember the last time Lehighton punted 7 times in a football game. So they haven't been consistent. Does that mean that they're going to have to throw the ball tonight, which they didn't do real well last week? They had 2 touchdown passes, but I believe, if my memory serves me, they were 2 for 12. I don't know what to expect in this ball game, to be honest with you.
As far as this game is concerned, it's a wild one every year. 42-15 was the score last year. And, Jim, you talked about the big plays. That's what happened last year. Lehighton went down with the first 2 possessions and scored after holding Stroudsburg to 3 plays in punting. Todd Wolf had 4 touchdowns, Green a pair of touchdowns, big plays in that one, and that worries Fred Ross going into this one.
And it has to, and Lehighton has some people again who can break the big play. Kyle Williams out of the fullback slot certainly can break a big play. Chris Green can break a big play as well. The quarterback Eckhart can throw the long pass for the big play. So Coach Ross has a reason to be concerned, but he has seen Lehighton win with a big play last week in particular, last year against his ball club. So I believe he's ready for that. I'm sure his defensive backs have been well coached this week not to let Chris Green or anyone else for that matter get behind them. So I think he's going to be playing to defend against the big play. So I don't know if that will be a factor or not. As I said before, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what or how to call this ball game going into it.
All right, for Stroudsburg, they have some people who can run too. Some question marks with a lot of skilled people gone, but DJ Anton, the fullback, had about 130 yards rushing last week and almost 200 yards rushing for Willie Watson. 2 guys who can run and a line who can move people away so they can do just that.
Yeah, they ran the ball over 50 times between the Watson and Antoine last week, and that's a typical I formation. Watson out of the tailback slot ran it 33 times. Antoine 21 times. I'm sure that's what Coach Ross would like to do tonight. You mentioned they have a line that can move people. Now, I watched Stroudsburg warm up tonight, and I remarked to someone that I was standing with that I thought this was the smallest Stroudsburg offensive line that I have ever seen. Lehighton, on the other hand, has a good size up front on their defensive line. So I'm not sure that Stroudsburg is going to be able to control the line of scrimmage and thus control the ball offensively. Again, I wait to see what's going to happen there.
Of course, Stroudsburg has had 2 completely different games against Whitehall, their first loss, against a rushing team. against Notre Dame, their first win against a passing team, something they will see a little bit of each in this week with Lehighton. Lehighton found last week that if they can catch the ball, they can do something with the passing.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Coach Parsons' feelings are about the passing game. We commented last week, I think, that at one moment he was happy as a lark with his passing game, and at other times he was shaking his head. So I don't know what his plans are, but I'm sure he's going to put the ball in the air at times as a regular part of his offense tonight. How successful he is will determine whether he continues to do it as the game wears on or whether he abandons that and tries to stick exclusively to the ground. You mentioned the Whitehall game. Stroudsburg only threw the ball twice in that ball game, so and they did not look good, as I recall, offensively. They didn't move the ball, which would lead me to believe that they don't want to throw the football, but I have a sneaky suspicion they may have to tonight, and it just may be that this game will be determined by which team can throw the ball effectively when they have to.
And these two clubs have won a lot of league titles, 7 either won or shared by Stroudsburg, 5 for Lehighton. This game always goes a long way in deciding who wins the league. Of course, the loser is not completely out of it, as we found out last year.
Oh, no question about it. And I think that's even more true this year because I think there are a few other teams other than the big three, the third one being East Stroudsburg, who may have a say in the outcome of this Centennial League race. So I'm convinced that the team that loses tonight is definitely not out of it. It may be, and I think people are already projecting that the
This show is being brought to you by the Cook's Pantry, a casual eatery located at 629 Main Street in Stroudsburg, offering breakfast and lunch specials, catering, homemade meals, and fresh baked goods. The Cook's Pantry.
The all-new Lehighton Lincoln Mercury on Interchange Road in Lehighton is fast becoming everyone's #1 spot for their complete automotive needs, featuring a complete line of 1992 Lincoln and Mercuries, as well as a full-service rental and leasing department. They also offer an award-winning service department, complete with service loaners and free car washes. Remember, don't buy before you try your all-new Lehighton Lincoln Mercury. We are back at Stulgitis Stadium. The captains are meeting in the middle of the field. The referee is Dennis Krim.
Alright, I tail, Dennis, if I drop off the throw it, ball in the air. We start ahead, gentlemen, it is a tail. Stroudsburg did one toss. Stroudsburg elected to be first. Stroud on one toss, she's first. Want the ball, let's go to Andy Bennett. Just back over there, start again. Let's see. Check in, gentlemen. Good luck to you. How the hell's the game, baby?
So Lehighton will open with the football. And again, we get a deferral. And a lot more teams are doing that, deferring to the second half. And I'd have to assume when you have two ball control teams that to do that, you want to be able to control the ball in the second half.
Which I think is a change of thinking from what it used to be. I think teams wanted the ball at the beginning of the ball game to control the ball from that point and to dominate as much as they could early on. But we've seen, what is this, our fifth game, and we've seen deferrals in at least 2 of them now, maybe more. I'm not sure, but I know 2 where we did.
Lehighton leads this series within the Centennial League 10-6. Stroudsburg last won in '89. That final was 28-16. Lehighton won in '88 and '87, 36-6 and 33 Of course, Lehighton won last year 42-15.
Yeah, Lehighton scored a lot of points in these series in the last few years, save for that one loss in '89. And so I'm sure that Coach Ross has worked on defense this week.
Joe Hull will kick off for the Mounties. For Lehighton, Chris Green and Kyle Williams are deep. Green is the middleman. And it will be Green at the 10. 25 to the 29. Tripped up. Joe Hull, the kicker, made the stop. Jim Galligan was there, and here's the offense for Lehighton. As they start 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line.
They come out in an unbalanced line right away.
And shift to a single back and put a wing and moves Bobby Eckhart in motion. Williams will throw on 1st down. It is intercepted by Newell. Newell intercepts at the 45. They put the quarterback in motion and had the fullback throw from the shotgun. So the Mounties go on offense 1st and 10, and here is their offense. Newell, the quarterback. Watson and Antoine, the backs. Tramontina is the wingback. Owens and McNosey are the ends. McNosey player of the week this week. Mangan, Metzger, Balchik, Schechter, and Hull across the front line for the Mounties.
You must have paid Parsons something to come up with that. So your prediction of expecting the unexpected would prove true.
Watson goes straight ahead and picks up about 5 or 6 yards. Mike Lush makes the stop. Here's the defense that they will be running against. Cock, Hawk, Wentz, and Lush. Lehighton goes to a 4-3 with Williams, Sterling, and Blair, the linebackers. Sterling, the middle linebacker. And the backs, Fry, Gombert, Hibbler, and Green.
And Green is again lining up 15 yards deep.
Watson again running left side. He will go nowhere this time. Mike Lush again right there on the stop. Mike Sterling, the middle linebacker, was also there. And it'll be 3rd and 4.
Now, Stroudsburg last week against Notre Dame was not stopped on the ground as far as they were concerned. So it'll be interesting to see tonight what they do if Lehighton is able to stop their ground attack. What adjustments they'll make and how quickly they will go to the air on the arm of quarterback Mark Newell.
From the power eye this time, straight ahead, Watson, and he goes nowhere. Hit right at the line of scrimmage. Stevie Hawk, the defensive tackle, hit him first and knocked him backwards.
I think the most consistent part of the Lehighton football so far this season has been the defensive line play. No one has really run the ball effectively against them, save for a drive that Tamaqua had last week, I believe, in the second half. I don't know about Nazareth. I don't believe Nazareth was effective on the ground for any sustained period of time. So I think Stroudsburg's going to have to make some adjustments, Bob.
Hold to punt. He stands at his own 44. Gets it away. It is short, a wobbly spiral. It takes a Stroudsburg bounce and then is down inside the 10-yard line. So Lehighton will start their second possession in poor field position. And here is the offense that will come out and do so. Eckhart, the quarterback, unless he goes in motion. Green and Gombert, the halfbacks. Williams, the fullback. Fry and Monk will split at split end. And Mike Lush is the tight end. Up front, it's Andrews at center. Hawkins Smith, the guards. Wentz and Nostine, the tackles.
I think we've seen Lehighton's razzle-dazzle for the night. I think Eckhart's going to stay under the center for the rest of the night, Bob.
I will guarantee a run here. Option right. The pitch is to Green. He's got some room to the 30 and out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Newell came over and knocked him out along with Rob Glass, but a big gain for Lehighton.
And this is a well-executed option play.
Here's the defense for Stroudsburg. Metzger, McNosey, Tramontina, and Antoine across the front. The linebackers and backs in a moment. That was a 26-yard gain by Chris Green. McNosey, Herman, DeLuca, and Schechter, the linebackers. Newell, Class, and Owens, the halfbacks. Williams straight ahead. Tries to pound for a couple of extra yards. Joe Hole was in there. Hole not expected to start. Does get in, though. And it is 2nd down and 8 for Lehighton.
Last week, Tamaqua made a defensive adjustment to take Williams out of the ball game, and they did so effectively. It'll be interesting to see if Stroudsburg does anything out of the ordinary in an effort to control Kyle Williams out of the fullback slot.
Outside linebackers are right up on the line, so in effect it's a 6-2. Williams bounces to the outside, and he will get nothing. Antoine and Class came up and made the play, and it will be 3rd and long for the Indians.
That play shows what Lehighton wants to be able to do with Kyle Williams. They recognize, as everybody else does, that he's a fine runner, and they want to get him into the offense someplace other than over their own guards and center. And there was an attempt to get him to the outside. I don't think Kyle Williams runs as well from side to side as he does straight ahead.
It is 3rd and 8. Gombert comes to the wide side right. Half a wishbone is left. Gombert goes in motion. The pitch is to Green. Green doesn't get to the outside. A wonderful play by Antoine to take on the blocker and make the play.
Yeah, an outstanding job by Antoine there. Can't do it any better. We see it again. No, it isn't Antoine. It's Owens.
It's Owens, Artie
right.
Owens.
Number 33, who made the play.
Eckhart boots it away. It's a gorgeous kick. Turns over. Newell at the 31 retreats to the 29. Running around looking for somewhere to go and gets to the 34. 1st and 10 for Stroudsburg. They start their next possession at the 34-yard line. So Lehighton goes 4 and out.
They do have a first down, that option play on the first play on that last series, and it was well run. They obviously are thinking of getting outside. They got outside on the option. They tried to get outside with Green here, but no success.
The fullback, first down, 10 yards, right up the gut. One more time.
Here's what makes the Stroudsburg offense so effective. They run both the fullback and the tailback equally effectively out of the eye. Most teams run the tailback.
And there was nothing there again. It'll be 3rd and about 14.
And if Stroudsburg doesn't throw the ball here, Bob, you're going to see Lehighton bringing everybody up on that line of scrimmage, daring Stroudsburg to throw the ball.
Yeah, they've already moved middle linebacker Sterling to the nose guard position, which was fairly expected. 3rd and long. Watson on the counter, and he will have enough trouble just getting back to the original line of scrimmage.
Excuse me, Bob, this will probably be the fastest football game we'll see all year. I just looked up a moment ago, and at that point there were only 5 minutes left in the first quarter, and I thought the game had just started.
Blair and Hawk combined on the tackle. It is 4th and 12. Hull will punt again. His second punt. This one is a gorgeous punt. Green retreats to the 10. Stutter to the 20. Could be a big run back. 40, 50. Good night, Irene. This is going to be a touchdown.
And there are no flags.
A 91-yard return for Chris Green.
And the coverage on the far side of the field wasn't there. The coverage on the near side, when we take a look at it again, is right there. But nobody covers for Stroudsburg on the far side. Somebody got blocked, I will assume.
He outkicked his coverage, too.
Yeah.
Did he boom that one?
Yes, he did.
He got to the wall, though, which was important. He knew right where it was and got to it. Bobby Eckhart to kick the extra point. Or I take that back. It is Chris Green out of Hibbler's hold. The kick is up and it is no good. But Lehighton has struck with 3:53 remaining in the first quarter. 6-0 Indians.
This show is being brought to you by Peachtree Produce, the very finest and freshest imported pasta from Italy, exotic fruits, vegetables, and fresh farm eggs. Available wholesale and retail, open 7 days a week. Located at 61 North Cortlandt Street in East Stroudsburg.
Today's game is being brought to you by Jad's Restaurant, located at 33 Sterling Road in Mount Pocono, offering daily breakfast, lunch, and dinner specials. Jad's for the best food and prices in the Poconos. Stop by or give us a call at 717-839-8841.
So Lehighton scores on just the thing that worried Fred Ross, the big play. Bobby Eckhart's kick squibs around and comes back, and I think Lehighton might have the ball.
And
no.
Nope, they're giving it to Stroudsburg.
Oh, boy, things just not happening right for the Mounties. Artie Owens got on the ball, and Lehighton almost turned a bad kick into a big play.
And we mentioned beforehand that it may be the big play again that decides this ball game, and so far that's what it is. And on that punt return for a touchdown, nobody laid a finger on Green, and nobody came close to laying a finger on him.
1st and 10, Stroudsburg. Option left. Newell just barely pitches it, and Willie Watson gets just back to the line of scrimmage. Blair and Williams were there, so is Mike Sterling. And that's probably as close to a pass as we're going to get tonight from Stroudsburg.
I don't, and I understand why you say that, and that just cannot be. They have got to throw the ball, and they're going to have to start throwing it soon. Lehighton is going to have 9 men within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage when this ball is snapped.
Again, they've gone back to the 5-man front. And this may be that first pass. Play action, Newell rolls right. He's not going to throw it. He tucks it in and gets back to the line of scrimmage and is buried. Mike Gombert came in and hit him. It'll be 2nd, make that 3rd and 9.
And I watched Newell warming up before the game, and he can throw the ball. But I would look for the pass here again. He's got to, he being Coach Ross, has got to establish that he can throw the ball.
They did shift to a wide receiver that last time. Here's Antoine up the middle, and he will get just a couple. Grabbed from the backside by Ryan Wentz, who reached up and grabbed his leg, and it'll be 4th and long.
And right now, momentum definitely on the far side of the field.
Joe Hull sets up the punt again. This will be his 3rd punt. The last one was returned by Green for a touchdown. This one, he boots right by Green again. It is caught. Still on his feet, and he is buried at the 24-yard line. Mike Schechter knocked them down, and it is 1st and 10 for Lehighton. They start from their own 24. Lehighton has not been real successful so far on offense with only 1 first down.
No, and they have not been successful as far as sustaining a drive very often, as we mentioned before. And that's something Coach Parsons wants to see.
From that straight wishbone, the handoff is to Gombert this time. To McNosey, the senior, makes the stop. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Fortunately for our viewers, they can see the Lehighton numbers on their screen. We're having a tough time up here. Those are not the numbers that the Lehighton people wanted on the white jerseys. They did not want gold numbers. They wanted maroon numbers outlined in gold, and instead got gold numbers outlined in maroon.
The handoff is to Kyle Williams. Williams has the first down, running hard as always. It's about a 12-yard gain and a first down for Lehighton. Let's see it again.
Right. And this is Kyle Williams at his best. Straight ahead. Much more effective going straight ahead than laterally. And obviously the Mounties have not completely taken that play away from the Indian offense.
And you see why. Kyle Williams averages 8 yards a carry. 22 carries, 175 yards coming into tonight's game.
And we're going to see that again tonight. That play before the night's over.
Green running behind a wall, picks up a couple. It was Dennis Herman, the linebacker, a senior, 6'3", 220, making the stop. And that is the end of the first quarter already. Lehighton leads it on the 91-yard punt return by Chris Green. It is 6-0.
On your mark, get set, go. And they're off to Kovac.
Because when you're shopping for a car, you deserve to have a choice, and Kovac has it. With 5 dealerships at 2 convenient locations, you're sure to find the ideal car for you. New or used, sporty or classic, you'll finish first with a car from Kovac.
There's K Chevrolet Cadillac in Lehighton.
Buick Golds in Nesquehoning.
Don't forget Jeep AMC Renault in Lehighton.
And of course, Kovac Ford in Nesquehoning.
Kovac, the area's transportation king.
So a very quick first quarter. Lehighton leads at 6-0. Neither team has really put together a lot of offense. Lehighton scored, of course, on the punt return.
I think we've had 2 first downs, both for Lehighton in the ballgame.
2nd and 7 as we start the second quarter. Kyle Williams straight ahead into the pile, out the other end. He'll pick up a couple. Tim McNosey made the stop, and it'll be 2nd and check that 3rd and short.
I don't know the last time I saw Coach Ross get out of his 4-4 defense, Bob, but he has tonight. He shifted into a 5-3-3, and he has never done that, to the best of my recollection. Now he's back in a 4-4.
Those linebackers are right up, though. Almost the 6-2. Option left. The pitch to Gombert. And Gombert is out of bounds with a first down across midfield.
A good block on the corner on the outside linebacker as we see it again that enables Gombert to get the first down.
You see from a distance how hard it is to read those jersey numbers. Gold on white has always been the nemesis of broadcasters. That's the 3rd first down for Lehighton.
And the 2nd in this series, which has to please Coach Parsons, because as we've said, and I don't like to beat the issue to death, consistency is what he is looking for from his offense.
Play action fake. Eckhart throwing deep right side, incomplete. Newell was back there deep. and Danny Fry was the intended receiver.
And the coverage was actually pretty good for the Mounties. Considering the way as we take a look at our cohorts down there, the Mounties have to keep an eye on Chris Green. He's the one who's done all the damage for the Indians the last couple of weeks.
He is out right now, and Terry Blair is in. The handoff is to Kyle Williams. He is across the 45. It'll be a gain of about 5. Mike McNosey made the stop.
That last pass by the Indians, by the way, although it was incomplete, served a purpose. It was a signal. We will throw the ball on first down, so you can't gang up on us on first and second down. We are not afraid to throw. It's a keep you honest play.
And it loosens up the defense a bit.
And the Mounties back in a 5-3 defensive alignment.
The handoff is to Green. Green is across the 40 and close to a Lehighton first down.
Interesting call here for Coach Parsons. It's going to be 4th down and about 2 feet at the Stroudsburg 39-yard line. And it does not appear to me as though he's going to punt the ball. I think he's going to go for it.
Tim McNosey made the stop on that last play, and Lehighton will talk it over. So it is 4th and 1. 10-17 remains in the first half. Lehighton leads it. We'll find out what they do in just a moment.
With over 30 years' experience, Hager Furniture is where quality is affordable. They have a complete line of furniture, carpeting, accessories, interior designs, and bedding. Hager has a competent and friendly staff of workers. Service is their specialty. Hager offers free wall-to-wall carpet estimates, free delivery, free decorating service, and special orders. They also offer convenient credit plans to suit your budget. For service and values, come to Hager Furniture, located on Delaware Avenue in Palmerton.
Elect DeLong Gerhardt for County Commissioners. The time is now. Paid for by the Friends of the DeLong Gerhardt Committee.
Welcome back to Stulgitis Stadium. 4th and 1 for Lehighton. Is this a Kyle Williams play?
Yes. Yes. Could well be. What I'm concerned about now, as far as Lehighton is concerned, is where is Chris Green? He has, as we've mentioned, been their offense most of the year. And if they lose him, they will have to struggle.
He is out, and Terry Blair is in. Gombert and Blair are the halfbacks, and Kyle Williams the fullback. So you're right. Where is Chris Green?
Well, this is going to be Kyle Williams.
No, it's not. It's going to be a 5-yard penalty. The right side of the line moved, and Lehighton, instead of having 4th and 1, will have 4th and 6.
And Coach Parsons on the far side could scream. Maybe he already has.
I'm sure he has. And it looks like Lehighton will punt. Tune in to TV 13 Thursday, 6:30, and Fridays at 7 p.m. and watch Pennsylvania Adventures. See what you may be missing both locally and within a short drive of your home right here on TV 13. 4th and long, Lehighton puts it away. Eckhart just barely gets it away, got hit, but the ball was touched. It takes a good Lehighton roll to the 6-yard line. But referee Dennis Krim was right there to make sure that a man got his hand on the ball before hitting Eckhart.
And immediately signaled. There was no hesitation. Good call by the referee Dennis Krim.
Part of the throng tonight, in the winter garb.
Yes, what a change in weather. A pleasant one, I might add, at least as far as I'm concerned.
First and 10, Stroudsburg. They will start this one from their own 6-yard line. It is Watson out to the 10. And there's a guy with some speed. He was on that 4x100 relay team that broke a record at the districts this past year.
Some young men on that team who could run, to say the least.
It is a 3-yard gain for Watson.
I watched some of the World Games from Tokyo late this summer, and I saw the U.S. men's team set a world record in the 4x100. They could run.
Watson again, left side, runs into the pile, pushes it forward, and gets near the 15-yard line. It'll be third and about 3.
And Stroudsburg needs this first down for a couple of reasons. One, to establish the fact in their own minds that they can move the ball. And 2, for field position. If they have to punt here, Lehighton's going to get the ball in excellent field position.
Watson with just over 2 yards a carry in the early part of the ball game. Newell keeps. Newell to the outside, gets brought down at the 25 and has a first down.
Nice play by the Mounties. Designed to fool the Indian defense, and it did. Everybody goes inside for the fake, and here's Newell, makes a nice move inside and picks up the first down. Well-executed play by Stroudsburg.
Mike Lush was the man who brought him down. The point I was going to make a moment ago, Willie Watson just over 2 yards a carry, averages about 5 yards a carry. So Lehighton defense holding the top back for Stroudsburg down a bit. The handoff is to Antoine, and he goes nowhere. Mike Lush and Mike Gombert combine on the stop.
Want to point out, too, that Chris Green is back in that lineup for the Indians here on defense. So, obviously, he's not hurt to the point that he can't play. Now, whether or not he'll come back offensively remains to be seen, but he's out there on the field right now and still playing 12 to 15 yards off the ball.
But more of a power eye. The handoff is to Watson. Watson looking for room to the outside and can't find it.
The Lehighton defense just does such an outstanding job getting to the ball. Even on that counter play, they weren't fooled for very long and got to the ball in a hurry.
Terry Blair comes through the crowd and makes the play. It is 3rd and 8. Again, the power eye. Trementina, the power back right. Option left. Newell keeps, and Newell goes down. Mike Gombert was one of the men there.
I couldn't catch the number. Hopefully we'll see it again so we can give credit to the Indian. Here it is on replay. And it was, as you say, to be the option, but no.
It was Sterling, the linebacker. Mike Sterling, actually, we should say the nose guard, because he has been moving right up into that spot. So now at nose guard, Sterling and Blair on the stop.
And somebody from Stroudsburg must be missing a blocking assignment, because Sterling has been in the Stroudsburg offensive backfield any number of times tonight. That's not the first time he threw the quarterback for a loss.
Hull kicks it away. It's an end-over-ender. Bounces at the 50. It takes a Stroudsburg bounce, and Rob Class will down it. And it is 1st and 10 for Lehighton. And they will start in pretty good field position at the 46-yard line. So it's first down Lehighton. They will go back the other way. Just under 6 minutes remain here in the first half.
With, as I indicated, good field position. No difficulty at all moving 40 or 54 yards in just over 5 minutes. The clock will not be a factor.
Dan Danny Steigerwald is in as the other halfback. This is Chris Green winding his way through some holes across the 40 and inside the 30-yard line before Newell can bring him down.
Excellent effort by Chris Green here as we see it again. It's a counter play. Williams will go left, Green goes right. And a good block on the corner that sprung Green loose, and he only needs a step or two, and he's off to the races.
Green gets 27 and the 4th first down for Lehighton. Kyle Williams straight ahead, runs into a pile. It was led by Tramontina. Brian Tramontina, 5'11", 170, and a senior, the defensive end. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Coach Parsons calling the plays from the sideline.
A handoff this time to Steigerwald. He is inside the 20-yard line. So Danny Steigerwald gets some playing time, and Dave Parsons told us earlier in the season he is not afraid to go to the second team. And now the question arises, where is Mike Gumbert?
Well, considering that Chris Green obviously is not hurt, it may be that since Coach Parsons is not afraid to go to the second team, that he's giving his backs a rest on offense, because both Green and Gumbert do play both ways.
Here's Green on the give. He will go right and should have enough for a first down.
I believe Green also carries the water buckets out. I think I saw him do that before the game. He does everything else for Lehighton. I don't know why they wouldn't have him do that as well.
That is the 5th first down for Lehighton, and Fred Ross wants to stem the tide, and he calls a timeout. 3:45 remains in a very quick first half. Lehighton leads it.
For the most complete sports coverage in the Poconos, look for the Pocono Post, the weekly newspaper that features high school sports within the Pocono Mountain and Pleasant Valley school districts. Each week, the Pocono Post sports department will have complete details of how the Cards and Bears fared in all sports during the past week. The Pocono Post for the best in sports coverage in the Poconos. You can subscribe by writing the Pocono Post, Route 209, Box 100, Gilbert, PA, 18331, or phone them at 1-800-526-7033. For the best.
If you are looking for a company that specializes in plumbing and heating, call George's Plumbing and Heating of Aquashiqua. They are experts at keeping you comfortable all year round. With George's Plumbing and Heating, you can count on prompt, dependable, efficient service day in and day out. They will replace your old unit with new, energy-efficient equipment, clean and service your oil burner, and keep your oil tank full. So for the best in plumbing and heating, call George's Plumbing and Heating of Aquashiqua. Let their expertise put your mind at ease.
A gorgeous night and a fairly clear one.
This is a big series as far as the rest of this ball game is concerned. Stroudsburg's got to stop Lehighton here.
Play action
Things
fake.
are tough.
Eckhart wants to throw. He's flushed out of the pocket. And he is not going to get out of there. Tim McNosey was the man who rushed him out of the pocket. And it'll lose about 4 or 5 yards.
What happened was his intended receiver, Mike Lush, went across the field and got knocked down. I don't know if we'll see it here because it is downfield. But he's looking right at him, and I just happened to be looking downfield rather than at Eckhart. And the intended receiver was knocked down, and he had no one to throw to. In fact, I was looking for an interference call.
2nd and long for Lehighton. They give right, Green, behind a couple of blockers, touchdown Indians. He hooked up to the back of one of his linemen and followed him right to the 5-yard line and then ran right down the sideline for the touchdown.
Yeah, and this is a counter play. Watch, the other two Lehighton backs go left, and Green comes right. And I believe Stroudsburg was fooled. Both Williams, the fullback, and the right halfback, was it Steigerwald on that play? Was he still in there?
Yes.
They went to the left, and Green went to the right, had a blocker in front of him. As you said, he hooked up with that blocker and went, I believe, untouched into the end zone.
Green pitch right, will not get there. Brian Tramontina made the play. Just under 3 minutes remain. Lehighton leads it by 2 touchdowns.
For the best in local news and sports, turn to the Times News. Plus, now enjoy a new expanded Saturday Sports AM section in the early times. This section includes complete coverage and statistics of all the area high school events, plus all the late scores some papers miss. Also enjoy special columns and features by the sports staff themselves. Look for the early times, Saturday on the newsstand by 9 a.m. And don't forget about the Times News the rest of the week. To subscribe to the Times News, contact them at 1-800-582-NEWS.
Chris Green has gotten his 6th and 7th touchdowns of the year. This kick is a line driver. Artie Owens picks it up and gets to the 43-yard line.
I'm sure that was not intended to be an onside kick. That gives Stroudsburg excellent field position with 2 minutes, 50 seconds remaining. And I'm sure Coach Parsons would much preferred to have that ball kicked deep.
First and 10, Stroudsburg. They have but 2 first downs. Option left, Newell pitches to Watson. Watson is dangerous if he gets to the outside, but will never get there. Terry Blair comes up to make the play. Kyle Williams was also helping him string it out, but Blair finally put him down, and the entire defense played that well, getting it to the outside.
Yeah, there were at least 3 Indians there, and Watson really had no place to run. We see it again, and there's a good play by the defensive end, and there are the 3 Indians out there, and more coming to help if need be.
They split Owens wide to the right and put Tramontina in the slot. Play action fake. Newell wants to throw. He's rushed and thrown down.
Probably Lush.
Yeah, Mike Lush.
The defensive left end for the Indians makes a fine play here.
Down you go.
And Gumbert would have been there had Lush not made the play. Certainly not Newell's fault there.
It is a sack and a loss of 12 yards. It is 3rd and 19.
I would look for a screen pass here.
Oh. Newell to Watson, going back the other way. Watson will get 5, but it is way short of a first down. Lush and Fry make the stop, and it is 4th and a lot.
I said before the game, Bob, in our talk, that I thought this was the smallest Stroudsburg team physically that I have ever seen. And I think that's being borne out here tonight. I think so far, they're pretty much overmatched, that Lehighton's just too big and too strong for them to this point in the game.
Hall is set to kick it away. He gets it away. It is a high one and a short one. Look out. It nearly hit a Lehighton player. Lamont Hibbler was blocking on the play and had his back to the ball, and it went right by him. But it is down at the 19-yard line, 1st and 10, Lehighton from right there.
Good play by Kyle Williams there. I think he had some thoughts of picking that ball up and trying to run with it, which would not have been the smart thing to do. Wisely, he suppressed those thoughts and let the ball roll dead.
I wonder what the world record for first halves is.
You're right. That
We're down to 10 seconds here, and Bobby Eckhart will kneel. And that will run the clock out. So a very quick first half. Lehighton has scored twice. Chris Green has both of them. That man has to be happy, except for the fact that he got the wrong jerseys. And Lehighton goes to the locker room up by 2 touchdowns at halftime.
Everyone wants the best for their home, from the kitchen to the bathroom. The place for quality and style is Best Supply, with 2 locations in Stroudsburg and Lehighton. Best Supply has many brand names to choose from: Craftmade, Elger, the Broadway Collection, and many more. Best Supply can help you with every corner of your home. So come visit one of our 2 locations and find out how Best Supply can give you the best in quality and style.
Mommy, there's nothing to eat.
And we'll go out, Julie.
There are hungry people in our community. They have no choice. They have no food. Soon the Boy Scouts will leave a bag like this. Put what you can in it and leave it at your door. They'll take it from there. You'll help people like Julie and her mom and other hungry people. By supporting Scouting for Food, you'll support your community. They're hungry for your help.
Football is coming at you. Make the catch with Blue Ridge Cable TV 13. Each week, we bring you the best in high school football. Catch your favorite teams from the best seat in the house. Join us for Centennial League action as Stroudsburg hosts Lehighton, only on TV 13.
Ooh, yeah. I need a man who's do or die. The kind of man who will satisfy. Bigger than life on my TV screen. A real man, baby, now you know what I mean. He's gonna set up a stand contest. Give me the man on TV.
Welcome back to Stulgitis Stadium. Lehighton leads Stroudsburg by a score of 12-0. It is halftime, and here is the Stroudsburg High School marching band.
Does it feel like things are too much to handle? Like your life is just a lot of pain? You don't have to feel that way. You can find the answers you need at the Boys Town National Hotline. They've helped hundreds of thousands of kids and parents with all kinds of problems. They know what to do to help you. Go ahead. Call anytime, day or night, and see how much better a phone call can make you feel. The Boys Town National Hotline. Toll free, 1-800-448-3000.
This is Kyle Lee Williams. Since he was 1 year old, the United Cerebral Palsy Center in Bethlehem has been providing Kyle and over 400 other children and adults with education and therapy that will enable them to become as independent and self-sufficient as possible. Grateful for the progress Kyle has made, his family is now raising money to ensure that other area residents receive the services they need. Won't you please help? Send your donations today to United Cerebral Palsy Center, care of Harriet Taylor, 5057 Running Valley Road, Stroudsburg. Thank you.
And now, a few words about raising children.
Run, jump, climb, walk, laugh and cry. Throw, fetch, play catch, slip and slide. Listen, swim, eat, grin, cook and cheer. Giggle, wait, talk straight, woo, be there.
Love isn't just something you say, it's something you do. From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
1 gram of cocaine costs as much as a boombox. 3 grams of cocaine costs as much as a TV. 7 grams, a trip to Paris. 1 gram a week for a year, a new car. If you're on coke, everything you work for is disappearing. Right under your nose.
A cartoon party's waiting for you with Yogi, Huck, and Fred Flintstone, too. Those little Boo Smurfs are really neat, and those carefree Snorks just can't be beat. Hey, this is great stuff. McGilly Gorilla's a big wacky pet, and Scooby-Doo's the best dog yet. They're all right here, so come on and play.
This is more fun than a barrel of sea monkeys.
USA's Cartoon Express is rolling your way. Weekdays at 7 a.m. and 6 p.m.
We are back at Stillgitis Stadium. Lehighton leads it by a score of 12-0 at halftime. Today's game is being brought to you here on TV 13 by the Cook's Pantry. Also by Jad's Restaurants, the Peachtree Produce, Kovacs Dealerships, Hager Furniture, Friends of DeLong Gerhardt Committee, George's Plumbing and Heating, by the Times News, the Pocono Post, by Lehighton Lincoln Mercury, Best Supply Company. And Lehighton will kick off to start the second half. The Indians have 115 total yards, 119 on the ground, -4 on the sack. Chris Green, 7 carries, 80 yards, and a touchdown. He also has a 91-yard punt return for a TD. Gombert, 2 carries, 7 yards. Steigerwald, 1 carry, 4 yards. Kyle Williams, 6 carries, 28 yards. Kyle Williams is 0 for 1 with an interception passing. Mark Newell, 4 carries, 9 yards. He's been sacked once for -12 for Stroudsburg. Willie Watson, 10 carries, 28 yards. DJ Antoine, 4 carries, 13 yards. There's a total of 38 offensive yards for Stroudsburg. They have 2 first downs. Lehighton has 6. Lehighton has the only penalty, a 5-yarder, and the only turnover, that Newell interception on the first play from scrimmage.
And those statistics certainly bear out my impression of the first half, and that is that Lehighton simply dominated this football game for the first 24. I don't know what Stroudsburg's going to do the second half, but I'll tell you right now, I don't believe, quite honestly, that they can come out and do what they want to do, which is run that football down Lehighton's throat. So it'll be interesting to see if Coach Ross feels the same way, and if he does, what he turns to.
Chris Green will kick off for Lehighton. He does.
And he did carry the water bucket out at halftime.
Fumble. And Lehighton has the ball. Lehighton has come up with the football.
Certainly not what the Mounties needed, trailing 12-0.
Let's see it again. See how that ball came out. It was Antoine on the run back, and the ball was just pulled out by Mike Sterling. He just took it away from him. First down, Lehighton from the 32 of Stroudsburg. Eckhart to throw. He's got a man open, Mike Lush. It is incomplete.
And that ball was well thrown. Beautifully thrown by Bob Eckhart. We'll see it again. He sets up well here. He takes his time, and the release is almost perfect. Steps out nicely, and it's right there. Beautifully thrown ball between two defenders.
Owens and Newell were defending. Before the season, I watched Eckhart throw the football. He threw a pass, that same pass, out on the Mahoning Street fence. I thought it was going to go right through the fence. He threw it so hard. And my thought then was he needs to take a little off it. And he did right there.
Yes, he did. That was a well-thrown ball.
A handoff straight ahead. Williams hops over one of his linemen, gets across the 20, and it's a first down.
And any defense has to be set up to stop that play. If not, Williams is just going to kill you. Now, last week, Tamaqua took it away from him with no real loss to the rest of their defense. But Stroudsburg tonight has not been able to take that away because what did Williams have? 28 yards on 6 carries in the first half, I believe you said?
Drive a Mack truck through that hole. 1st and 10, Lehighton. Kyle Williams again. Same play, only left. Breaks a tackle at the 5 and scores. Kyle Williams from the, I believe it's the 17. Yes, it is a 17-yard touchdown run.
We'll see it again. There's nothing strange about it. It's Williams straight ahead, which is where he likes to go. He runs, as we pointed out before, much more effectively straight ahead than he does when he runs laterally. And Coach Parsons may give up on trying to run him laterally. I'm sure he will see every ball game if the defense is set up to take that play away from him. And if it is not, he's going to run him there and worry about laterally the next game.
Lehighton will go for 2. They pitch to Green. Green trying to get to the outside. Cuts it up. Finds a couple of defenders there and goes down. So Lehighton has scored 3 touchdowns and have been unsuccessful with 3 extra point conversions. Joe Hull made the stop, and Lehighton leads it by 3 touchdowns. 11:03 remains in the 3rd quarter. Blue Ridge Cable TV 13, in cooperation with Northampton Community College, will be airing a 26-part telecourse entitled Discovering Psychology. The course will air Wednesday evenings from 7:30 to 8:30 right here on TV 13. 32 yards, 3 plays for Lehighton. They score. Kyle Williams with the touchdown. It was a 17-yarder.
And the Mounties at this point must be demoralized. I'm sure they came out of the locker room looking forward to getting the ball to begin the second half. They fumbled that second half cook-off. Lehighton took advantage of, drove it in for the score, and now the Mounties trail 18-0. And as a ground attack team, almost exclusively, 18 points will not easily be made up. Mark Newell may find tonight that he is a passing quarterback, regardless of the fact that he only threw twice in the first 2 games.
We'll see if he goes to the air attack here. They run from a strange-looking power eye. DJ Antoine on the carry, picks up about 4.
That's the old power eye. That's the way the power eye was run first, with the 2 lead backs, the fullback and the other halfback acting as a lead back as well.
Look like an out-of-whack wishbone.
But that's the way the power eye was first run when the eye was introduced. That's a true power eye.
Newell becomes the passing quarterback, throwing right side incomplete. He was looking for Artie Owens on the right side. Actually, Antoine. It was Antoine who was out there.
Could have been either one. I wasn't sure. They were both in the same line.
Sort of threw it between them, and it'll be 3rd down and 6. And this is one of the rare times that the clock is not moving between plays. Artie Owens goes wide right. Newell comes back the other way on the option. Cuts back inside, gets across the 50, and gets the 1st down. And then is punished by Terry Blair.
And at this point, it certainly appears as though Newell is a better runner than he is a passer. We'll probably be wrong before the night's over, but he has run more effectively than he has thrown tonight.
That is only the 3rd 1st down of the ball game for Stroudsburg. .9:57 remains, 3rd quarter. Lehighton leads at 18-0. You're watching on TV 13. You can also join Jolly Joe Timmer for exciting polka music and dancing live every 1st and 3rd Tuesday of the month from 7 to 8 p.m. right here on Blue Ridge Cable, TV 13.
They tell me you're quite a polka man. Is that true?
That is true.
Good.
The stories I could tell you about polkas. Again from that strange power eye, Antoine again, breaks a tackle, gives another for a ride. A penalty marker comes in late. Lamont Hibbler and Danny Fry finally bulldog him down.
It's got to be a face mask. There was no blocker there. It can't be holding.
It would be a 13-yard run, 12 or 13-yard run. And tag on some more. 5, 10, 15. The 2nd penalty of the game.
And Coach Parsons immediately takes a timeout. If you can read anything in the way he's striding out there, somebody out there is going to catch. You know what? He is not a happy camper, even with an 18-0 lead and seemingly in complete control of this football game.
Let's take a look again at that play if we can, just for the only reason that it's the biggest play from scrimmage for Stroudsburg tonight. Yeah, there's the face mask.
And I wish you wouldn't call that a strange power eye. We used to run that all the time. We never thought it was strange.
9:29 left here in the 3rd quarter.
And that probably, interestingly enough, we mentioned at the beginning of the 2nd half, what will Coach Ross's thinking be? What will he believe that he can do? And that power eye actually says to everyone, I'm coming out here and I'm going to power that football down Lehighton's throat. The problem with that is he fumbled the opening kickoff at the beginning of the 2nd half and lost another 6 points.
Here it is again. Antoine on the give. He'll get to the 17-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7 off the 3-yard gain.
If Stroudsburg can score here, why they still in this ball game, particularly with those 3 extra points missed.
They're still in that power eye. Fake right and go left. Trying for a couple of extra is Willie Watson.
That Lehighton defense is very, very physical.
Sterling made the stop, along with a number of other Lehighton defenders.
And we heard the pads pop, as I'm sure our viewers did. Lehighton, a very physical football team. Coach Parsons, I'm sure, when the season began back in mid-August, wasn't sure of how his lines would turn out. Most of those kids are new, but they have turned out very, very well.
3rd and 6. Newell play action, trying to roll right. Keeps, gets to the 10, and that should be enough for a first down.
And again, Newell runs well. There wasn't much there, but he snaked his way through what little opening there was and picked up the first down, I believe. Nice move there.
That is the 3rd first down of the half for Stroudsburg, the 3rd in this drive. The ball is just inside the 10-yard line. Watson on the give, still on his feet to the 6-yard line. Terry Blair was in there defensively. So was Steve Hawk.
If the Mounties do go on and score here, that fumbled kickoff and subsequently Lehighton touchdown is going to be a headache for Coach Ross. He's going to be very upset having given up that 6 points so easily to the Indians.
2nd and goal from the 7. They pitch to Watson. Watson trying to speed to the outside. Will not get there. Kyle Williams came from behind and made the play.
Yes, a great play by Kyle Williams. I thought Watson was going to get into the end zone, but Williams just scrapes along the line of scrimmage and gets there. Nice job by Kyle Williams and someone else. There was someone around Watson's ankles, and I missed who that was.
3rd and goal from the 2. Newell gives to Antoine. He didn't get in. He is denied. It was Joe Cock in on the play. And it will be 4th and goal from the 1.
As I said a moment ago, that Indian defense is tough.
Cock and Fry was there, so was Chris Green.
Yeah, Denny Fry, I think, was the first Indian to make contact. And somebody has called timeout again.
4th and 1. 6:17 remains, 3rd quarter. Lehighton leads it by 3 touchdowns. Stroudsburg trying to get on the board here. Timeout. Lehighton leads it. The all-new Lehighton Lincoln Mercury on Interchange Road in Lehighton is fast becoming everyone's #1 spot for their complete automotive needs, featuring a complete line of 1992 Lincoln and Mercuries, as well as a full-service rental and leasing department. They also offer an award-winning service department, complete with service loaners and free car washes. Remember, don't buy before you try your all-new Lehighton Lincoln Mercury.
This show is being brought to you by the Cook's Pantry, a casual eatery located at 629 Main Street in Stroudsburg, offering breakfast and lunch specials, catering, homemade meals, and fresh baked goods. The Cook's Pantry.
Lehighton leads it 18-0, but Stroudsburg has it 4th, and that much for a touchdown. The quarterback, Newell, hands off, touchdown. It is DJ Antoine with the score.
Nothing fancy about it.
Straight ahead. Wait, there was a big hole off to the right.
Yeah, they did catch the Indians a little bit off guard there. I think Watson went left, Antoine went right. and it was a quick hitter. So the Indian defense, I think, went with the flow of Watson, and Antoine, going the other way, found the big hole over his own right guard.
Newell to hold a kick. It is up, and it is good. 6:07 remains, third quarter. Stroudsburg is on the board. It is 18-7 Lehighton.
This show is being brought to you by Peachtree Produce, the very finest and freshest imported pasta from Italy, exotic fruits, vegetables, and fresh farm eggs. Available wholesale and retail, open 7 days a week. Located at 61 North Cortlandt Street in East Stroudsburg.
Today's game is being brought to you by Jad's Restaurant, located at 33 Sterling Road in Mount Pocono, offering daily breakfast, lunch, and dinner specials. Jad's for the best food and prices in the Poconos. Stop by or give us a call at 717-839-8841.
Joe Hole set to kick off for Stroudsburg. It is a high one and a short one, and it will go out of bounds. That drive, 59 yards in 11 plays. 4 of those plays came inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, Lehighton did not give up that touchdown easily. And that can be important because any time lost off the clock hurts Stroudsburg, because it is going to take them a long time to move the ball downfield, at least if the game continues to go as it has.
Well, the penalty is declined. Lehighton decides to take the ball where it is at the 31-yard line. 1st and 10 Indians. The handoff is to Williams, through a big hole, and close to a first down. Rob Klask came up and made the tackle, but not before a big gain by Lehighton's Kyle Williams. And the first down.
Now that time the Indians ran that a little bit different. They moved Williams to the right, slanted him back left. It was still a quick hitter, but it was not straight ahead.
1st and 10 Indians.
And it's interesting to watch Coach Parsons get the ball in Williams' hand. He's doing a nice job. Coach Parsons is.
Green this time, another hole. Green is to the 47, 48-yard line. Brian Tramontina makes the stop. And it'll be 2nd down and about 5.
Tamakua's adjustment last week certainly forced Coach Parsons to find different ways to run Williams. He wanted to try to get him off tackle more, but Williams is better straight ahead or over his own guards or over his own center.
This is Gomber on the counter. Gomber breaks a couple of tackles fighting for the first down, and he will not get there. He'll be shy by about a yard. And I'd say about 3/4 of the defense was in on that stop.
Every first down that Lehighton picks up from here on in is worth considerable because it takes time off the clock, time that the Mounties can't get their hands on the ball and muster another scoring drive. So even though the Indians may not score, Bob, a first down means an awful lot to them here.
Kyle Williams is met right at the line of scrimmage, but pushes ahead and gets the first down.
A nice effort by Williams. He didn't have much blocking on that play, but his determination picked up that extra yardage that he needed.
Tim McNosey, the defensive tackle, made the stop. It is the 4th first down for Lehighton here in the second half.
And Stroudsburg has got to stop Lehighton on the first down plays. The Indians have been picking up, in this drive anyway, too much yardage on first down.
Gombert on the give, through the hole and gets grabbed. At the bottom of the pile, I believe, was Dennis Herman. Second and 8, Lehighton. Wishbone shifts to the left. Option left. Eckhart pitches behind Green, but Gombert with the nice hands to collect it.
Yeah, that was almost a big negative play for the Indians. We see it again, and as you pointed out, it was behind Gombert, and he was lucky to come up with it.
Rob Klass came up and made the play. It is 3rd and 12.
Part of the crowd here tonight.
I was about to say that Lehighton has not shifted out of that wishbone a lot, and here they are going to a 3-receiver set right. Back to pass goes Eckhart. Time, throws right, it is complete to Chris Green at the 20-yard line. A 28-yard pass from Bobby Eckhart to Chris Green.
And again, Eckhart does a nice job of setting up. Gets a little pressure, but he doesn't flinch, stays right in there and delivers the ball right on the mark.
Boy, has he come around this year.
Yes, he has thrown the ball very, very well from time to time, and more as each game goes on.
1st and 10, Lehighton. Kyle Williams on the give, bounces away from a couple of guys and gets to the 18-yard line.
Williams makes a nice initial move here. He made a second move that I thought was going to spring him free and into the end zone, but his first move here is very, very nice. If we can take another look at it, as an Indian is down. Here it is. Right there. That move was very, very nice. That move was nice, but the Stroudsburg tackler did hang on to bring Williams down.
Timeout on the field. 1:59 remains in the 3rd quarter.
On your mark, get set, go. And they're off to Kovac.
Because when you're shopping for a car, you deserve to have a choice, and Kovac has it. With 5 dealerships at 2 convenient locations, you're sure to find the ideal car for you. New or used, sporty or classic, you'll finish first with a car from Kovac.
There's K Chevrolet Cadillac in Lehighton.
Buick Golds in Nesquehoning.
Don't forget Jeep AMC Renault in Lehighton.
And of course, Kovac Ford in Nesquehoning.
Kovac, the area's transportation king.
The injured player was Jason Andrews, the center. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the center snap. No problem with it. Green gets the give and got perhaps a yard.
Gramantina, the tackler for the Mounties, and he made a nice shoe-top tackle. You're right. It was interesting to see what happened with the center. Very often when a new center comes in, particularly when he and the quarterback have not had a chance to exchange some snaps on the sideline, the quarterback will have a problem handling the ball. But that time, Eckhart had no problem whatsoever.
Mike Sterling is the new center. Option left, Eckhart, he keeps and goes nowhere. Mike Schechter, the linebacker, made the play, and it is 4th and 7.
And the Mounties have made some good plays in this series.
Lehighton looks to be going for it. They split. 3 receivers right, Green in the slot, Gombert on the wing, Lush wide out, and handoff to Williams back inside, and he'll have the first down, or at least get close to it.
And those three wide receivers spread the Mountie defense. And Williams doesn't need much room in any situation, but with the defense spread, why he was quickly through the middle. And as you call it, Bob got very close to the first down, and I'm quite sure he made it.
Here's the measurement. First down.
And although the Mounties came up with three nice defensive plays, they couldn't come up with a fourth, and the Indians have a first down at the 11-yard line.
They could, of course, get another first down, but it would have to be right up on the goal line. First and 10, Lehighton from the 11. Kyle Williams goes nowhere. Met right at the line of scrimmage by Tim McNosey, the tackle. And a penalty marker has come down. Unsportsmanlike conduct against Stroudsburg, and that hurts after a big defensive play.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. That's not what the Mounties needed at all.
And that is the end of the third quarter. So after three, Lehighton leads it by a score of 18-7.
With over 30 years' experience, Hager Furniture is where quality is affordable. They have a complete line of furniture, carpeting, accessories, interior designs, and bedding. Hager has a competent and friendly staff of workers. Service is their specialty. Hager offers free wall-to-wall carpet estimates, free delivery, free decorating service, and special orders. They also offer convenient credit plans to suit your budget. For service and values, come to Hager Furniture, located on Delaware Avenue in Palmerton.
We are back. Lehighton leads it 18-7 and is knocking on the door.
There was a moment ago that Lehighton came up over the ball on fourth down with about 6 to go at the Stroudsburg 15-yard line, and you said it looks as though they were going to go for it. What else would they have done?
There is such a thing as a field goal, or didn't they have that in your time, back when they first invented the eye?
Interestingly enough, I don't think Lehighton will be kicking too many field goals this year. They have not been too successful on extra points.
No. It was a 5-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal. Handoff, Green to the outside, touchdown! It's a 6-yard touchdown run for Chris Green, his third of the evening.
And that was just a great effort by Chris Green. Unfortunately, we won't be able to look at it again. But he hit off tackle, nothing there, skirted to the outside, and went in untouched, as I believe he has on all his touchdowns tonight.
And Lehighton will kick the extra point. I believe it is Chris Green down there.
It is. I told you he carried a water bucket on. You don't believe me.
I'm surprised if he could, he'd hold it for himself.
Yes, he would.
The snap is placed down by Hibbler. The kick is up, and it is good. So now all of a sudden things are clicking for Lehighton. They even get an extra point. 4 seconds are gone in the fourth quarter. Lehighton leads it 25-7.
Elect DeLong Gerhardt for County Commissioners. The time is now. Paid for by the Friends of the DeLong Gerhardt Committee.
Green kicks off. Glass on the return. And he is spun down. And it is a 1st and 10 for Stroudsburg.
Mike Lush, the Indian who brought the ball carrier down, and more and more we're seeing Lush take charge of that Lehighton defense and do a nice job for them. He's all over the field.
Mountie ball at the 32-yard line, 1st and 10. And if they ever had a passing game, they're not going to use it now. The pitch is fumbled, and it's going to be Stroudsburg ball, but credit Joe Cook for coming in and making the play and really making a mess of that option.
Yeah, the Mounties are in trouble, quite honestly, at this point. As I'm sure most people realize, I don't think I'm telling anybody anything that they don't already know, but they don't want to throw the ball, and yet if they want to get into this ball game, they've got to put 3 scores on the board in 11 minutes, and you're not going to do that sticking to the ground.
Lehighton knows this problem, too. The Indians in the past have never been a come-from-behind team for the simple fact that they didn't have a passing game. It was a loss of 8. Newell back to throw. Newell throwing right side. It is complete to Antoine. Penalty markers fly. The ball comes out at the end, but it was down. It will be a 1st down if that is, in fact, a successful play. But I have a feeling I see a couple of linemen downfield. I don't know how far they went. And that is not the call. Holding on the defense is the call.
The only possible offensive penalty I saw there was that pick play that somebody ran last week. I thought maybe it would have been called a number 88 for the Mounties, Sal DeLuca, but not so. It was defensive holding.
This should be refused. And it is, because it would be called from the line of scrimmage, which was about 18 yards back. And it would be a 15-yard penalty. So it is an 18-yard pass play and a 1st down. Only Mark Newell's 2nd completion of the season.
And Lehighton very quickly calls a timeout. Coach Parsons wants to stay in control of this situation. So he quickly called a timeout, probably to instruct his defense that, look, Stroudsburg is going to start throwing the ball, loosen up. Remember what we went over in practice this week, if they did go over any pass defense, considering Stroudsburg's history so far this season. But he's going to make sure that they're ready for whatever passing attack the Mounties hope to mount here in the 4th quarter.
Lehighton leads it 25-7. Timeout on the field. And for the best in local news and sports, tune in to TV 13 for iWatch News 13. Weekdays, 5:30, 8:30, and 9:30, right here, where you see this game on TV 13.
Who's your guest on Monday evening quarterback this coming week?
Monday evening quarterback should be very interesting. George Yaniger of Jim Thorpe is our guest on the Monday evening quarterback.
Mr. Yanninger has been known to be interesting, yes.
Here is Antoine straight ahead. He'll pick up 4. Kyle Williams, the ever-present Kyle Williams, is there on the stop. So is Ryan Wentz. 2nd and 6. There's a band with something to cheer about. Play action fake. Newell rushed. Newell running. Newell going down. It was Cook again. Joe Cook, the defensive end, who just this week gets a start. 5'11", 170, and a senior, and he records the sack.
We have called certain names, certain numbers for the Indians more often than others, of course. Chris Green and Kyle Williams in particular. But you know, more and more of these Indians are coming through with big plays. And I think as the season progresses, we'll be calling some of those other names just as often as we now do Williams and Green.
Watson goes left and picks up the 4 or 5 that the Mounties lost on that last play. Mike Sterling, the middle linebacker, made the stop, and he is in fact back at linebacker because the Indians have gone to the forefront. And it is 4th and 6 for Stroudsburg.
And I believe they're going to go for it.
There's only 9 minutes left in this ball game, and they need 3 touchdowns. Fourth and 6 for Stroudsburg. Newell to throw. Newell rushed. Newell throws. Intercepted. It is Mike Gombert. And Gombert could go all the way. Touchdown. A 48-yard return for a touchdown by Mike Gombert.
Newell that time had to get the ball a little bit higher to get over. Gombert didn't do so. And Gombert just reached up and made the interception. He was trying to go to a receiver behind him and never got the ball high enough to get it over top.
On recount, it is a 52-yard return. Chris Green for the extra point. Hibbler to hold. High snap, he gets it down, and Green kicks it through. 8:35 remains, fourth quarter. Lehighton leads it 32-7.
For a company that specializes in plumbing and heating, call George's Plumbing and Heating of Aquashicola. They are experts at keeping you comfortable all year round. With George's Plumbing and Heating, you can count on prompt, dependable, efficient service day in and day out. They will replace your old unit with new, energy-efficient equipment, clean and service your oil burner, and keep your oil tank full. So for the best in plumbing and heating, call George's Plumbing and Heating of Aquashicola. Let their expertise put your mind at ease.
Lehighton kicks off. It goes right past the outstretched hands of Andre Jones. Jones picks it back up, and he is smothered at the 10, and it is all Lehighton right now, and a penalty marker comes in away from the play and well after it.
After Lehighton, in the person of Chris Green, kicked that second consecutive extra point, I thought it must be that as soon as I say something, the opposite occurs. We commented about Lehighton not having much success kicking extra points, and since then, Chris Green has been successful on 2 in a row.
Stroudsburg is penalized half the distance to the goal. 2 5-yard penalties against Stroudsburg were actually 15-yarders, cut off by bad field position. 1st and 10 Stroudsburg from their own 6. Newell hands off Watson. Watson dives forward to the 10. Sterling and Williams make the stop. It'll be 2nd down and a lot. Since it was a dead ball foul, they march off the yardage after setting the chain, so it will be 2nd and 11.
And once again, Lehighton proves they're able to score points against Stroudsburg.
Second and long. On the delay, Watson, and he is going nowhere. Cook is there. And that is Sterling. So Mike Sterling with another fine play. And Sterling and Cook have done a nice defensive job tonight.
Absolutely. You've called Sterling's name any number of times.
3rd and 16
The Mounties have not done a good job all night long of picking up Sterling.
Willie Watson averaging over 100 yards a game. Well short of that tonight. 3rd and long. Newell hands off to Antoine, who barely gets out of the shadow of his own goal post. Hawk and Sterling make the stop. It's a 3-yard gain, and it'll be 4th and a lot. You know, Lehighton, for years, has prided themselves in stopping big players. If a runner comes in averaging over 100 yards, they take it as a team challenge to keep him under that 100 or under 50 or under whatever they feel is a decent game.
And again, they have risen to the occasion.
Block punt. It is blocked, and Lehighton has covered it in the end zone. Touchdown.
And I think the present score must exceed Coach Parsons and his staff's fondest hopes coming into tonight's game.
Here it is again.
I couldn't see who blocked it.
I think it was Brian Hunsinger, 78. That was the guy jumping around. There he is. There's Hunsinger. It is 78. Brian Hunsinger, who is jumping up and down. I have no idea who recovered. Penalty markers fly. The kick is good. Let's see what happened here. I believe this will go against Lehighton. They'll have to kick it again. So I think Hunsinger was the man who got his hand up.
And I couldn't see either who recovered it in the end zone for the touchdown. But Lehighton certainly has dominated this football game almost from start to finish.
I don't know if we'll be able to see that one more time. Of course, we're waiting for the ball to head back the other way. And it goes into the end zone as a block. There's Bobby Eckhart with the towel over his head. You get the feeling that he's not going to take that towel off next time Lehighton gets the ball.
I would certainly not expect so.
Penalty markers again, and this time Green hits the upright, but the play was blown dead. It will be another 5-yard penalty.
And I believe the whistle blew before the ball was snapped, so it will be kicked again.
Let's take a look one more time and see if we can, someone.
That's the extra point.
That was the extra point. Still curious to see who recovered the football.
Yes.
I think we've narrowed it to Brian Hunsinger blocking the ball. So, well, this is going to be a 30-yard extra point, and it wobbles wide left. 5:55 remains in the game. Lehighton leads it 38-7.
And some pushing and shoving out there, and I believe that shows the frustration of the Mounties. This score is going to be a real eye-opener throughout the Centennial League, I'm sure.
Timeout on the field.
For the most complete sports coverage in the Poconos, look for the Pocono Post, the weekly newspaper that features high school sports within the Pocono Mountain and Pleasant Valley school districts. Each week, the Pocono Post sports department will have complete details of how the Cards and Bears fared in all sports during the past week. The Pocono Post for the best in sports coverage in the Poconos. You can subscribe by writing the Pocono Post, Route 209, Box 100, Gilbert, PA 18331, or phone them at 1-800-526-7033. For the best in local news and sports, turn to the Times News. Plus, now enjoy a new expanded Saturday Sports AM section in the early times. This section includes complete coverage and statistics of all the area high school events, plus all the late scores some papers miss. Also enjoy special columns and features by the sports staff themselves. Look for the early times, Saturday on the newsstands by 9 a.m. And don't forget about the Times News the rest of the week. To subscribe to the Times News, contact them at 1-800-582-NEWS.
It is a wobbly kick. Artie Owens has trouble with it and almost lost the ball. Let's take a look at that blocked kick one more time and see if we can catch who. No, that's
the extra point
extra
again.
Point penalty. It's in there somewhere. Little bird keeps telling me it's there. Lehighton leads it big, and Stroudsburg has the ball 1st and 10 from their own 38.
And the Lehighton JVs are on the team, and we're told that we're going to see that block punt again after this play.
All right, 1st and 10. Newell hands off to Watson. Watson through a hole to the 46-yard line. 7 yards on the play. Here it is. We should have it this time. There's the hand, and there's a scramble. Oh, he
78 recovered the ball. Hunsicker recovered the ball in the end zone.
And I believe, now let's see. Now, we were given a number, and ladies and gentlemen, the program for Lehighton is not in order. It goes seniors, juniors, sophomores. We're looking for a number 20, I believe, is who we have been given.
And there is no
number 20. One more time. Let's see if we can follow the hand down and follow him to a point where we can see who got his hand up and blocked that ball.
We're not going to.
Now,
there's a 28 maybe that was there.
Or a 34. I'm trying to pick out numbers from a distance. And again, you see the problems we have. Some new people in there, and that's going to be a broken play. Garth Johnson is the new quarterback for Stroudsburg.
And Monday night's JV game has begun early.
Yeah. So the young guys are in there, so you can start adding them up for the starters on the varsity. 3rd and 3. Kevin Lozoin, number 20, was the man who carried. It'll be 4th and 1 for Stroudsburg. 4 minutes remain in this one. Lehighton leads it 38-7. Lozoin again, 1st down. So it's a 1st down for the Mounties. Their 5th of the second half, 7 overall. Start your day with a coffee break. Join host Kim Bell to meet all sorts of interesting guests covering a variety of topics. Weekdays live at 10 a.m. and replayed at 4:30 here on TV 13.
And this is Lehighton's 4th win in the last 5 years, Bob, by big scores in this game. And that really surprises me. If you didn't have those statistics here right in front of us, I wouldn't believe that if you told me that they had won big 4 out of the last 5 years. And yet that's the case. In 87, it was 33-6, 88, 36-6. In 89, Stroudsburg was victorious, 28-16, and last year, as I'm sure our viewers know, the Indians won big 42-15, and it's another big win. And I would never have guessed that.
Dave Herman in there as the fullback. He got the last give. This one will go to Jose Rivera. So Rivera picks up a couple, and it's 3rd and 3.
And this certainly sets the Indians up well for the Centennial League race. But as you pointed out in the pregame talk, the loser of this game is certainly not out of it, as Stroudsburg proved last year when they came back.
Herman straight ahead, first down Stroudsburg.
After losing this game to the Indians to tie for the Centennial League championship with both the Indians and their crosstown rivals, the East Stroudsburg Cavaliers. And I'm sure Coach Ross, as he prepares for the rest of the season, will draw on that bit of Mountie history.
Lazoin on the carry, stopped at the line of scrimmage. The Indian fans, cheerleaders celebrate.
With good reason.
Second down and 10. Herman on the carry again, picks up a yard. It'll be 3rd and long, and there is an injured player down on the field. Timeout on the field, 1.5 minutes remains in this one. 38-7 is the score. 38.
Everyone wants the best for their home, from the kitchen to the bathroom. The place for quality and style is Best Supply, with 2 locations in Stroudsburg and Lehighton. Best Supply has many brand names to choose from: Craftmade, Elger, the Broadway Collection, and many more. Best Supply can help you with every corner of your home. So come visit one of our 2 locations and find out how Best Supply can give you the best in quality and style.
Football is coming at you. Make the catch with Blue Ridge Cable TV 13. Each week, we bring you the best in high school football. Catch your favorite teams from the best seat in the house. Join us for Centennial League action as Stroudsburg hosts Lehighton, only on TV 13.
What's that glare in the press box there, Bobby?
Did you polish that today?
Yeah, darn right I polished it today, every day.
38-7 the score. Lehighton leads it. Some numbers. Lehighton held the 2 big backs for Stroudsburg under 100 yards together. 90 to be exact. 17 carries, 46 yards for Willie Watson. 11 carries, 44 for DJ Antoine. Fumble. Lehighton has the ball. The ball was fumbled by Jose Rivera, and Lehighton comes up with the football. For Lehighton, Chris Green, 10 carries, 91 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Also, he had a 91-yard punt return for a score. Kyle Williams, 13 carries, 83 yards, and a touchdown.
Doesn't Green have 3 touchdowns?
Yes, he does. 2 running and 1 through the punt.
Right. That gives him 8 for the year.
Yeah.
In 4 ball games. That's not bad.
Timeout on the field. 1:17 remains. We'll be right back.
America, cable TV people are getting involved, like the Cable Buddies program, helping troubled students stay in school. Or cable customer service representatives, helping the housebound just get along. Now nationwide, cable goes to school, helping kids to learn with the Cable Alliance for Education. Seems like everywhere you look, cable people are getting involved to make your community a better place to live.
right, 1st and 10, Lehighton. Go straight ahead. We'll try and get these guys for you.
Well, 23 is the quarterback for the Indians now, and if I can go down the list, it's Troy Horn, sophomore.
I believe it was Danny Steigerwald on the carry. Again, the numbers are not in order, and I don't believe this is the second team. I think they're really...
Excuse me, it's number 12, Brian Wolford, who is the quarterback.
And the runner on both of those was 38.
Brad Horn.
Rod Horn. Brad Horn. 3rd and 3. Horn again. And he will have about 2. It'll be 4th and 2, and I don't think they have to run another play. In fact, they don't. The clock is down to 10 seconds. And that will probably run out the clock, and it will. 38-7, Lehighton wins it in fine fashion.
Yeah, the score is indicative of the game. So often we say in wrapping up that the score does not indicate the closeness of the game or what have you. I think the score tonight definitely indicates that Stroudsburg was outmanned here tonight, overmatched. I have never seen the Stroudsburg team dominated the way Lehighton dominated them tonight.
Chris Green, 3 touchdowns, a 91-yard punt return, a 20-yard run, and a 6-yard run. Kyle Williams with a 17-yard run for a touchdown. Mike Gombert ran back an interception for 52 yards and a touchdown. And Brian Hunsinger picked up a blocked punt in the end zone for Lehighton to give us the 38 that Lehighton had. Our only score for Stroudsburg was DJ Antoine going in from a yard out on a 59-yard drive. That gave us the 7 for Stroudsburg. Lehighton wins it 38-7. Lehighton goes to 3-1 on the season, 1-0 in the Centennial League. Their next game will be at home against Pleasant Valley. And for Stroudsburg, well, they are now 1-2 overall, even up at 1-1 in the Centennial League. Their next game will be out of the league at Nazareth next Friday night.